Same stuff I taught you guys that appraiser taught me. It's the same stuff I teach you guys. So I'm in full confidence when I walk into a listing appointment, I know what the range is on a home, right? And then the third piece is the third option we give them. Hey, you can sell the home without me. I'll give you my for sale by on a checklist, right? Step by step on how to do it. Here's what we know: 8 to 11% of for sale by owners' homes sell. So we got an 89 and 92% chance of getting the listing. Well, it takes about 7 to 10 days to get it, right? And then in the meantime, we also say, well, I'll do a free Epic open house system for you. You guys have seen all the videos from our Epic open houses, how 50, 70, 100, 200 people show up in 1 hour, right? There's a whole system beyond that, right? So brokers, agents, they want to be able to do this program you see here. You guys, it's like me living in LA. People say, you ever been to Disneyland in LA? I'm like, nah. They're like, what? I flew all the way from New York to go to Disneyland in LA. Sometimes when it's in your backyard, you get comfortable and you don't value it as much. A lot of people in California don't even go to the beach, but you're surrounded by water, right?
That's terrible. Yeah.
It is. I know. You say that, right? And so here's also what's terrible. 89,000 agents at EXP. Only 12% recruit. That's crazy. And Brent Gold just shared with you what speaking to 10 people a day would do for you, right? That's crazy. That's more crazy. At least you don't go to the beach. At least you just miss getting wet. You don't call 10 people a day. It's like I was listening to Rick Ross yesterday. He said, my bank account caught the Holy Ghost. Right? That's what he said, right? Only 12% of agents at EXP will even share a video and try to sponsor somebody. But if they did, it would unbelievably change their life. It's the number one biggest opportunity at EXP, right? But for whatever reason or not, we'd have to hire a psychiatrist to figure that out, right? On why that happens. I don't know why it happens, right? Fear. I don't know what the fear is, but if you think it's a great company and you could imagine this. If I was one of your close friends and I was in LA in real estate and you in Atlanta in real estate and the market has shifted and you was having success in your business and you knew how I could get a recession-proof business, right? And also how I could close deals everywhere across the world, and you didn't share it with me and you called yourself my friend, I wouldn't consider you my friend. Like, I don't care how much success you have, I just want to have success, right? I'm a cheerleader because I'm not a hater. But at some point, you got to, when you see people having success, you just got to ask them why, right? How did they do it, right? And so I think it would be that's why I said congratulations to Kenya, you blessed them. Because if you had something that could help somebody, it's like they said, if I was drowning, would you throw me a life raft? If your kid was drowning, would you throw him a life raft? Yeah. My wife's supervisor, his wife, they had their grandkids on the tube behind their boat at the lake up here by the house. We're going around the tubes and the tube flipped over. She had her grandkids on the boat. And they had life jackets on, of course, but they wasn't coming up, bro. Like, the tubes are huge, right? They covered them up on top. She dived in the water. She couldn't swim. And she had a heart attack and drowned, but the kids' lives were saved. Would you do that for your child?
Mm-hmm.
Would you?
Yes.
Absolutely you would. It happened a couple of years ago. She drowned and died. She had a heart attack trying to save her grandkids. Eventually, when she died and tried to get to the grandkids, they ended up floating up. And she never came back up, right? And so this is the same thing with this EXP opportunity. Don't let people suffer. It's just not fair. All right, moving on. All right, so let's talk about some best practices with EXP. With Express Office. Let me move my screen over here and help you guys. And all I can share is what's been working, right? So sometimes people are reaching out to me saying, AT, well, I can't get them to sign anything. I'm like, okay, well, walk me through your process when it comes to signing. I said, so first of all, let me tell you what works. You went to the property, you talked to them about it was 3 options for her to help them sell their home. Did you do the VIP seller presentation? Number one, you ain't doing the VIP seller presentation, I don't want to talk to you. Don't call me, don't text me, don't ask me anything in Slack. I don't even, like, you're just wasting my time. Like, trust me, I got the presentations from somebody that made $100 million in real estate. Verify results. All I did was put it on, tweak it to what I'm doing and what we're doing at EXP. And I've been using it for decades, right? He made $125 million, a single agent, commissions, not sales, commissions, $125 million in commissions. I would be a fool not to listen to somebody like that. He has verified results. And so I said, well, dude, what's the #1 reason why you're successful? He's like, this presentation. He's like, because even when I'm not on my game, it hits all the personality profiles, the DISC, right? This, you guys should learn about that if you don't know. I need Karen to teach it one day. She's an expert at it. It hits all 4 personalities. This profile, the presentation, it's designed to do that. Some of you guys say, it's really long. I know, because you're probably a high D like me. When you get better at identifying your client's personality profile, you'll tweak your presentation. Until you fully understand how to recognize a personality profile in 15 seconds like I can. I know as soon as I ask them my upfront questions, I know how I should do my presentation. Okay. If it's a high C, they're gonna want all the details. If high D, like me, highlights what's the bottom line. High I, Juanita, blah, 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 blah. We're gonna be best friends forever. Boom, boom, boom. This is how things are gonna work. S, somebody that just wants a proven system, right? Boom. I know how to present to them, because you can't present to everything the same way. I always relate everything to dating. We've all dated more than one man or more than one woman in our lifetime. We're not 16 years old here. We can't date everybody the same way. People can't treat that person the same way. And when we settled on one, it was different, right? All right, same thing with express offer. So hopefully you have walked through the home, you got back to the kitchen table, you asked them why they're selling, their time frame, all the questions that I've given you guys that are written down, you have them on the Google Drive, you have them, right? Found out all that, which is the most important part of you going to the home, okay? Then you did your presentation. It's benefit rich loaded. It talks about express offers, it talks about a for sale by owner program, it talks about everything, right? Boom. Then you get to the end and you share with them what the prices are or what the data shows the home will be worth. You let them pick a price. You never pick a price for a client that lists their home, right? They pick a price. You ask them why they picked that price. Why? Because when you leave their house, somebody's going to ask them, why did you decide to list at this price? So you want to make sure they understand why they did it. Then you say, here's the 3 options. You present 70 to 85%. You don't know, but let's just go middle of the road, Mr. Smith. Let's assume you got 80%, right? You know the numbers at 80% based on what they wanted to look. I hope you guys are writing this down because you ain't gonna remember nothing I'm telling you, right? And you ain't going back to watch this video. Well, 18% of y'all will. All right, let me move on. All right, let me just train it. All right, so you go over 80% option, you go over your regular option at 100%, or they pay you no commission. Then you go over the for sale by owner checklist with them. Okay, boom. Which option do you want? Right, now they got 3 options. Tony Robbins says there's always 3 options, no matter what. You give people 3 options in sales, always. There's always 3 options. Even when you think you don't have an option in your personal life, you always have 3 options, right? You give them the 3 options, and they'll ask you questions like, "Well, I've been selling. I don't want you. I'm a for sale by owner. Yeah, and it's not working for me." I'm like, "Okay, well, do you want to continue to sell in your home?" "Yeah." "Well, if I bring you a buyer, would you be willing to pay a commission that's fair for you, that's fair for me, that gets the home sold?" "Yeah." "Well, what's that commission?" "Well, normally, what would you pay in commission if you had a listing agent?" and they'll tell me whatever number that is. I said, okay, well, if I could give you a discount on that and charge 4% if I bring you a buyer, would you consider that fair? They say, no, man, I'm not paying you 4%. How about 3%? I'm like, okay. Well, how about this? What if you paid me 3% and any amount I sold over your bottom line, we could split it 50-50 and incentive for me to sell your home for more than you actually want to sell for. Does that sound fair as well? Well, yeah, that sounds fair. Okay, so you're willing to pay me 3% and then 50% of anything above what you and I just discussed. Is that right? Yep, it is. Okay, no problem. And then I'll go over that process. I don't immediately go to, I said, would you like to express offer? So let's talk about express offer, because that seems like where most of y'all issues are coming from. The problem that I found from talking, not just to you guys, from agents across the country, I've probably talked to about 35 agents I teach this to other groups, just so you know, in other states, right? They want me to come, Anthony, teach this program. I'm like, okay. I charge them to teach it, right? 4 to 5 figures to teach their team. And at EXP, yes, I do. And I teach them. So the 35 agents that may have had problems out of probably about 600 so far, the issues that they're having is this. Well, I send them the property condition report and I send them the disclosure here, and they don't want to sign it. I'm like, okay, so you're sending it to them, right? I'm like, yeah. I said, well, why aren't you filling it out with them? Either online, like I'm sharing with you guys right now, or in person, which is even better, right? Remember, this is a niche market. Is it better to do something in a niche market face-to-face, or is it better to do it on the internet like we're doing, right? If you guys are in Jacksonville and I wanted to really drill something in your head, I would come to Jacksonville. I would teach it on the computer. Even though I know only 20% is going to do it, I still would, my heart says, those numbers are so real, but Anthony, you got to be better. You got to help 21%, right? I know the 20% number has been around forever and ever and ever, and it's a real number. But my heart says it's got to be somebody who maybe just has a missing link on how I'm training it on versus what to do. And then the reason why people don't do things is because some people want all information. I'm a person who says, give me the information. I'm gonna go try it. And I'm gonna fail. Then I'm gonna fix it. That's how I am. Some people are not like that. Some people says, all right, I got the information, Anthony. You trained it very well. I went out there and people didn't sign, and then they don't do anything else. They don't do anything else. I'm like, hey, what the problems are. I just want to know what the problems are. Fix it. And now we get to this point. Okay, so bottom line is this. Try your darndest to do this in person. And you would want to have this out with somebody, and you would be filling it out while you're sitting there with them. This is so crucial, y'all, right? And you would just ask them questions. Like, okay, we got to sing. This is how I would do it. I'm a role play with you. Shalia, you're at the top of my screen, so I'm sorry. You're my A student today. Okay. All right. I was like, all right, Shalia, just, I'm going to get these photos in a second. You see, I need to get these photos. I'd make sure they see that it says photos, right? You're a single family home, blah, blah, blah. I'm filling this out. You got 2 levels. You got no basement. This home was built according to the tax records. It's this. I would be talking out loud. And they go, yes. Just like some of you guys right now are bobbing and shaking your heads. Who watched the Alec Murdoch trial? Anybody watch that?
Yeah.
I am fascinated with this trial. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
But it's amazing how you can disagree with something, but shake your head yes. Because you can't you can't trick your inner being. So the goal as a salesperson, I'm teaching you high-level sales here, is to always get people shaking their head. So how do you get people shaking your head? Ask them obvious questions. That's how you do it. Okay. That's why I won't say what somebody's square footage is out loud, because who knows that 90% of the people are going to disagree with the square footage in the tax records, right? Right. All right. I'll say the tax record here says your square footage is this. Probably what the investor might go off of. Well, my square footage is $300 square feet more. I believe you. But the only way we can prove it is if we want to get an appraisal done, that's $550. You want to spend $550? I don't care. If you want to do it, we can do it. It's your money. Right? I never tell somebody what their square footage is. Why? Because I've done so many listing appointments. I know that's something that could go either way. Right? I want them to like me. And so you guys get the point. So I'm going to go, hey, we're not in a gated community. There's no solar panels here, right? I already know there's not, right? I want to ask them everything that has a yes answer to it, right? Right? And so I'm going through this. I'm filling it out with them. Boom, boom, boom. Every one of these, I'm filling everything out. Man, let's go to the kitchen now. I'll walk them to the kitchen. Boom, boom. This is what I've done, y'all. I've closed 5 of these. Okay? Okay? This is what I've done since I've been. Let me go do it myself. So I said, let's go to the kitchen now. I got to fill out something about the kitchen. Blah, 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 blah. And let's go to the bathrooms. All right, see the bathroom. It's just a jacuzzi cup upstairs. Oh, let's take a look at it. I make it like a field trip in their house. I do it on purpose. And then by the time I get to the end, is there anything else that's great about your home that you would want the investor to know about? Yeah, I always have something. Does the investor really care about that? No. There are a number of people, right? Only thing the investor cares about on the back end is, does it have any rental restrictions in the subdivision? That's the only thing they care about, because they're going to rent the property. And what's the market value of the home? Based on comps, conditions, those two. That's what they want, right? That's why the comps, they can pull themselves. The conditions, this is what's going to tell them about the conditions right here, right? Photos, pictures don't lie. Pictures are worth 1,000 what?
Words.
All right. Okay. So do it in person. What questions do you have about this property condition report? Because a lot of agents are not even getting this far. This is the easy part.
This is just more of a general, and not that I don't think it really matters one way or the other, but in your experience, do you find people respond better? Do you do this do you print this out, or do you just do it like online?
I've done both, and I don't know which way works better, because both of them worked.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm the Tony Robbins guy. Tony Robbins says, when you get people to write stuff down, you put stuff in their head. That's why we should all be writing stuff down, not putting notes on our cell phones. Because most of the notes on our cell phones are never going to happen. Right. So I tried both ways, and both ways have worked. So I don't have any doubt. All right. So any other questions about this product condition?
When you do it online, are they they're actually walking into the kitchen?
Oh, when I do it online, I'm with them. Like, I just have my laptop. I'm not sorry, y'all. I'm not leaving it up to them to get me 10 racks.
Right. Okay.
No. That's like doing a virtual date with a girl. No, we going out.
Okay, you're in person.
You gotta see my car is clean. That type of stuff, right? In person. In person. I know y'all in this virtual world now, and everybody want to do stuff non-people. But the way to do business is face to face. That's how you do business. So you try to get face to face as much as possible. You ain't that busy where you can pass up $10,000. I'm sorry, you ain't that busy.
That's not long.
I would imagine that this kind of brings to light too, because when the people are actually going through and checking out the conditions, even though they may say initially that their home is worth 300,000, when you really get down to it, it's like, okay, you're there and you're checking the condition of their appliances, the floor, what have you. So that should bring a realization to them too.
Absolutely. Plus, you guys, if you follow my listing presentation, because I recorded it and you guys all have access, one of the pieces of paper I showed them, it says 3 prices to buy a home, Miss Mullen. Price based on comps. That's what you're talking about. Condition, that's what the pictures are going to show. And then thirdly, what a buyer's willing to pay, what investors willing to pay, what a $1 billion bank's willing to pay, what Miss McGillicuddy down the street's willing to pay. Right? All right. Do it in person. So here's the form that you guys have a problem with. This is a problem this is where your sellers have a problem, or the owner has a problem. Because on the real estate trust meter, where we rank is on the bottom. I'm sorry, I didn't create that. I'm on the bottom with y'all. They don't trust us. We're with attorneys. When you Google trust of a real estate agent, we're in a group with attorneys, because this, like the guys like Murdoch, who was an injury lawyer and stole millions of dollars from people even after he got his greedy but paid 40%. Unbelievable, right? Like this, unreal. They locked him up for that, no matter if he killed somebody or not. That's what he got locked up for, right? All right, 2 life sentences. This is where you guys have a problem. And this is where your the owner of the home has a problem with you. Because since they don't trust us and most people don't read, remember 80% of books that people buy, they don't read them. 80%. Think about all the books you bought. 80% of books that are written, people don't read, that they personally buy. They don't read them, right? So if you're reading more than 80% of your books, high five, right? I got a stack right here of 7 I haven't read that I bought. I was like, when I go on vacation, I bought them for the pandemic. I want to read 2 or 3 books when I'm on a 7-day cruise, right? That's my goal. All right. Anyways, this is the form that gets you guys tripped up and your sellers tripped up. Because why? It's got so many words in it. Look at this paragraph. So I actually reached out to people at EXP. I said, why don't you just make it simple? And like, don't be having big paragraphs on it. But I'm not going to fight the system at EXP. I just create my own, right? But this is what you guys are trying to get a seller to sign. And if this is what you want them to sign, because at some point you have to get them to sign this, right? And I get them to sign it 100% of the time. And I'm going to show you how I do it. You go through here and read the stuff that makes them feel comfortable. And then you guys know how you can highlight on a PDF document, right? You can click something at the top here and highlight it in yellow. You guys know how to do that. Where you can highlight certain things throughout this document. I should have showed you my